Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back here to Hilaal TV. This is our coverage of the 15th annual BRICS Summit that is coming from the Santon Convention Center. Now, a lot of the talk, of course, has been about a possible new currency that could come within the BRICS nations, and of course, whether cryptocurrency is going to be one of those, and is there going to be a potential for the de-dollarization? Joining me now from Crypto Family, I'd like to welcome Naty Esnal. Naty, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Okay, Naty, so where are we in terms of the world moving in crypto? We saw a burst of it that happened during, of course, pre-COVID and during COVID. Is it still something that holds relevance within the world and its currencies?
Well, we think it's the future, so we are working on a gold-backed currency because we need to give the families the security and the safety of their income and their well-earned money to put it in a digital currency that will not burst and will sustain the value over time. So we are, at Crypto Family, we are working on providing the families the financial tools and assets where they can thrive and transform their economies in a very sustainable and safe way. So we are very interested in seeing what news this summit brings towards currencies, because we are working towards the gold-backed currency, and it would be great that the BRICS summit support this idea.
You come from Spain, so obviously Spain being part of the G7. I need to ask this: is Europe embracing the digital currency at this very moment?
Well, the thing is, of course, we have these conversations. We have let's say the central bank's digital currencies. It's one thing, and then we have the cryptocurrencies that could be decentralized, and what we are working for. So it's two different conversations. It's the CBDs, and then the other cryptocurrencies that are potentially decentralized and available for the whole world, not central banking and digital currencies. So this is conversations that are on the table.
The gold-backed currency, that is something. It's very traditional because it was something that was used, obviously, pre paper money or pre-coin money at the time. The world's evolved as it should be. Does that, when the time comes, does it still hold relevance if it has to be introduced now? I know that the BRICS nations have been talking about introducing something of a de-dollarization. Can that happen? Because the dollar still holds a lot of strength within world economics.
Yes, but why is it holding strength? Because they are using it for trading. But if we set up a new currency that should be backed by gold or real assets, and we move to that new trading system, a new financial system, I mean, we are ready to do it. It's just the triggering and the approval of all these nations to move away from the dollar. And so it's historically been holding its value because of all the trading and the oil and everything that we need to go. We have to, as a world, we need to go back to real assets, because the printing of money is causing so much suffering in the world, and it's destroying families all
with
over
inflation
the world.
within the central banks.
Absolutely. So we need to stop this. And how we do it? Going back to the basics, going back to real assets. If it's oil, if it's gold, if it's silver, if it's copper, whatever. But something that holds value and cannot be printed over and over and over again. So,
Naty, Europe, of course, has imposed quite a lot of sanctions on Russia. There's a bit of an energy crisis within Europe at this very moment. Netherlands was the latest country to hit a recession. Spain's changed its leadership. Where you from, of course. Russia right now, I mean, they have sole reliance on the global south of BRICS. From a European perspective, are they concerned about BRICS? I'm not talking about political or bilateral ties. I'm talking about economically. From a European eye, are they concerned about BRICS and the impact it could make if, number one, cryptocurrency becomes the order of the day, and number two, the gold-backed currency takes full effect?
Well, I cannot tell you if they are, afraid of looking at
Yeah.
this new opportunity for families and
But
all.
what's the perception
But
of Europe?
this,
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
of course, from my industry, we
Mm.
are all looking forward for this
Yes.
change, and we are working towards this change, and we are trying to educate the people in so many things that they don't know. Most of the people don't know that they are printing the money, and that's why you get inflation. And the education is so important to make these changes happen towards the new financial system that will be changing the whole paradigm of the financial in the moment. We need to have these changes so families and people can and nations can get their sovereignty back, and through resources make sure that these resources are always kept in the
Yes.
country and not taken away. That this has always been the problem, and this is what we are working towards. So from your question, in Europe, I mean, from my perspective, we are not seeing this as a challenge or a problem. We see it as an opportunity because, I'm talking about within my cycle, of course, we need this. We want this change to happen. We cannot continue living in the actual financial system.
Naty?
It's impossible to sustain.
Interesting to see what's going to happen, of course. Whether or not that's going to happen remains to be seen, but we are living in very interesting times with regards to this. Naty, muchas gracias. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That is Naty Esnal. Of course, she's from Crypto Family. And do stay tuned to Hilaal TV as we continue to bring you coverage of the 15th Annual BRICS Summit. And of course, we hope to speak to various media houses across the world in order to get their view on this summit. Do stay tuned to Hilaal TV. I'll see you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.